Okay, women want to vote. And the deal with that is we created a new government, and I toppled the US, Canada, and Mexico, and it's the first noocracy. So I am teaching women about feminism versus femininity. And what this means is the majority at random will vote for a leader based on intelligence. So it's a noocracy now, and your popularity contest is out. So if you're still trying to vote, you're still part of the problem. What you're trying to do instead is incorporate what you know as an expert into educating me as the world's highest mind, okay? Right. Women's right to kill. Uh, Women's rights. You hear women's rights and you think that abortion should be legal, ladies, but you're wrong. You're utterly wrong. I started a new country over this topic, and the United States failed to understand basic rights for the last 2.5 centuries. So, since you're all dumb, I created a new government, and it was actually pure liquid evil to kill your own baby in the womb, and they just acclimated that so that you would accept it, okay? When that was immoral. Child support is just playing God with words. What that really is extortion. You're extorting men with a penalty of torture. So the former U.S. government used to torture men and put them in a cage for mate selection and for trying to be a good father. The woman tortures the man by depriving him of fatherhood, taking the kids away with the help of a nuclear powered government to extort that man, to steal from him every penny until he is then tortured in a cage. You see, it's the woman's right to bail on the guy in the former U.S. government and to call that child support. But you see, science says otherwise. Since I represent the entire global science community, it's a problem because you're creating monetary incentive for women to break up the family unit at home. So the former US government was pure evil, and they paid women money to break up the family. Do you see? And then they called that child support. So that's evil twice. It's evil three times when you put men in a cage if they can't pay it, if they can't pay their extortion. You see? So, ladies, you were just evil cunts. Uh, Women's mate selection, you see, putting men in a cage for life was always wrong when they choose the mate of their desire. In the rest of nature, you don't see other animals putting the males in cages. That is just immoral. Women's dating, it's hypergamous dating, so the women are all dating the top 20% of guys, and so 8 out of 10 guys aren't getting a date. And since all women are psychopaths, they don't care if 8 out of 10 guys aren't getting any dates. They don't care if all those 8 guys are brooding with animosity and about to turn into Elliot Rodgers. Okay? It's a psychopath society. The women don't care. Uh, Family court is biased in the former U.S. government. They will always give the children to the woman by default, you see, and give the woman the biggest cut and such, and that is the trend. The shelter ratio is pretty much like in there are no men's shelters and there are like thousands of women's shelters, basically. Uh, Suicide. Men are the ones killing themselves. No one cares. Of course, they're men. No one cares about men. Uh, who can make it through the Navy SEALs? Who can make it through Rangers? The women can't make it through. We've coddled women to be a weaker gender, so they can just make it and through other things, but not through these things. It's just too extreme for women, right? Loyalty, the women aren't loyal anymore. So no matter who you are in life, your girl is going to break up with you because she's weak socially. She's bad at relationships. She is weak at relationships. She doesn't love her man. And none of the women love their man. So they're not going to be loyal to you. The grass will always be greener on the other side. The divorce rates, so that's going to be 80% women. 8 times out of 10, it's the woman destroying the family, destroying the relationship. Women's jobs and men's jobs. The men do all the hard jobs, right? Women's liberation, that was the Rockefellers trying to get women into the workforce so that they would have double the taxpayers, right? So they fooled you ladies. They bamboozled you into being good workers instead of being good mothers, you see. That was women's lib. Women's idea of femininity, you see, feminine women don't have a high body count, right? They are chaste. And you know the statistics once you get over 5 in your body count. You go way down in your potential for landing a marriage or a long-term relationship significantly, okay? Even after 5, and these women are into like their 500 range and such, they're women with penises, basically. They've become masculine women instead of feminine women. So they're trying to outdo men regarding what is easiest for them, and that is getting sex. But you see, every time that they do that, they don't understand and they're totally oblivious. They're deducing their sexual market value with each person that they have sex with. And that's the problem with hoism. You're never going to be able to land a good guy, even though you think you can. He's not going to want you. He's going to see your body count, and he's going to determine that you're not going to be available for the long haul. You're not going to be a loyal companion. So there's no reason worth investing in you as a partner, you see? And if you don't care about that, well, you don't care about your own future, because having a long-term companion is what equates to the most happiness statistically in science. Women believing that it's okay for them to be polyamorous, right? That is backwards. You see, it's the men that would be polyamorous and not the women, because when a woman is polyamorous, she deduces her potential for understanding who the father is, as well as her potential for having that father be in the picture to help take care of the children as a father, you see. So being polyamorous as a woman is very bad. It's very bad for finding a long-term companion. Having men take you seriously, they're never going to take you seriously. And a woman's role is to keep the family together, not to break it apart. So when you see those stats like 8 out of 10 and all this, women are failing to understand it's actually their role as a woman to keep the father there so that he will be there to raise the children, so that the children will be happy, so that the children, not just that, will have the best outcome in their life, right? And women totally fail to recognize the importance of the original father. They gloss over that, and they feel that they can replicate that with another guy when that's totally wrong according to science. And they gloss over that and justify it, of course, right? Women as leaders, it's the problem that they flip-flop, right? And you can't trust them. Women as fathers, you're creating a feminized version of what a boy should be. You're raising him as a woman instead of to be a man, to be whatever you think a man should be. You see, when a woman doesn't really know or can fill that role. And no women love their man according to the hair test, and that's the main thing I talk about. I am your leader in evolutionary psychology. If you ask any woman to shave their head for their man, they will have a fit. They will reject the idea. In a large group of women, they will reject the idea and they will detest it. But this is just shaving off your narcissism, ladies. It's totally harmless to shave your head. But you see, you would have to face society, right? In proving your love for your man, women always put their hair above their man because they need that hair to attract other men, potential other mates, and for society, who has brainwashed women into believing that long hair is what makes them feminine, long hair is what makes them beautiful. So not loving your man, no, it's your hair and your narcissism on your head that's more important than your relationship. So you realize that none of the women love their man yet, and we have to teach women that they don't. And we have to have this debate with women about the hair test and expose that none of the women love their man yet, because we're not going to have proper longevity. We're not going to have happy families. We're not going to have happy relationships as men on the planet Earth, no matter where you are on Earth, with any of these women, if they don't understand this, if they don't understand that they're putting their narcissism before their relationship and their family every time. And when you gloss over this, you're glossing over everything that's important in life. Essentially, life is pointless and meaningless right now with this culture of rampant debauchery where no relationships mean anything. Every family is destroyed or being destroyed by female narcissism, right? And women playing God with the former U.S. government, dividing families, making it so that I can't raise my children as the world's highest mind in history, you see. And here I can invent free energy twice this year, but no, I can't raise my own boys because of American female narcissism that is spread throughout the world, that has devalued men, and a government, a feminist gynocracy government that is doing the same thing. And they are raising my boys to be feminine, and my sons are in harm's way regarding the idiocracy and its vaccines that I banned. 9 ingredients that should not be in the human body, including things like sorbate 80 attributed to sterility. So you have the idiocracy dividing me from my children and taking side with the narcissist who wants to be a hooker, essentially, and do incest, coke whore, Red Bull parties with her daughter. And after a half a year of physical abuse with me, you guys coddle her female sexual narcissism so that she can have those younger guys to fuck, those teenage guys, so she can have that promiscuity in front of my brand new boys and put them in an American school after I toppled the US government 8 years ago for failing to understand even basic rights for the last 2.5 centuries. So it's a big problem how dumb you are, how dumb all of you are, and how much you all protect America tooth and nail without asking any questions at all about as oblivious as you can be in the face of proper scrutiny. You fail to have a debate. Your only coping mechanism is damage control and compartmentalization of the leader of the free world, the world's smartest man that ever lived.